back to another ZAGSBLOG Zoom series interview. This evening, I'm here with 2021 Stanford basketball commit Isael Silva. Isa, how are you doing today?
Pretty good, Jacob. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And where are you right now? Are you out in Sacramento?
Yeah, I'm here in my backyard here in East Sacramento. So just trying to stay safe.
Nice. And so during all this coronavirus this summer, I know AAU has been canceled and put on hold, but how have you been working on your game this summer?
Just trying to be as resourceful as possible. Having more time, I think, gives players more time to find a good routine, good schedule. So it's been kind of a weekly thing, 5 to 6 days a week on the court, at least two or three times, and then weights 3 to 4 times, and then mixing in like agility and pool workouts. Just trying to stay like super dynamic with what we're doing and improve while we don't have the chance to play games.
And so I know there's a lot of uncertainty surrounding the 2020 season, but assuming the high school season goes as planned, what are some of your individual goals that you want to achieve before you graduate and head over to Stanford?
I think it's just, first is getting on the court, just being able to see my improvements in terms of, production, being more efficient with scoring and passing and everything I do. That's definitely a goal of mine. And then I think just helping whatever team I'm on win, helping them win championships. And through that, hopefully all the other like personal achievements I have and goals written down, like being a McDonald's All-American, making the Hoop Summit game, like a bunch of these different games that I want to play in, are definitely in my goal list for my last year of high school.
Awesome. And so you're a top 50 player in the country. You're committed to Stanford. I know you've been playing basketball since the age of 4. So was there one moment where you realized, like, wow, I might be able to do this for a living. I might be able to play this sport professionally?
I think that was always like my goal and the intention with basketball. I think, especially once I got to like 7th grade. I know I was still tiny, and nobody would have thought at that point. But I think that's where I kind of just committed myself to thinking that way. But I think just recently, like hearing different feedbacks, being at different events with like NBA personnel, and it's definitely more tangible as I continue to get better. But no, that's always been the way I've thought, and just thankful to God that it's I'm on a good path. So I just have to stay focused and remain faithful.
And so, given that your dream is to play in the NBA, is there any one team that you've always dreamed of playing for, or that you grew up rooting for?
Mm-hmm. Growing up here in Sacramento, most people expect me to say Kings, but I kind of grew up being a Laker fan. So, I couldn't say I can see myself playing for one team or the other. I think any team I'd be super blessed, but if I got to put on purple and gold, I think that'd be pretty crazy.
Awesome. And then you've kind of blown up on social media with more than 70,000 Instagram followers, and your Ball is Life videos have gotten hundreds of thousands of views on the internet. So what's it like getting all of this attention before you're even a senior in high school?
I think it's crazy. Like, I'm just as baffled as other people are. I try not to pay much mind to it. At the end of the day, it's just people seeing what you're doing, more eyes. So it's something to be grateful for, but it's something I really try not to think about. Like when I see kids come up to me, like in awe, like it inspires me just as much as I inspire them. So I'm just grateful for it, and I'm going to continue to improve my game, and whatever else comes is secondary.
And so obviously you're committed to Stanford. That's for the 2021 season.
Yep.
So do you mind just talking a little bit about what stood out to you about Stanford, and then ultimately what led you to commit?
Well, everything really like just led me to me choosing that as my home, I think in the back of my mind, they were always like my favorite. I don't think I would have committed as early if it weren't for Corona, but I think I would have ended up choosing Stanford no matter what. No doubt in my mind, actually. It was just from like all their staff to their players, like they all believed in me. From the head coach to, like I always say, the video coordinator, like I know all of them. They all already treated me like family. There was a real want for me, but they also expressed like their need for me and how that could play into a national championship, and there could be something special there. So it was just a mixture of everything: the basketball program, the culture of the school, a chance for me to help enhance the culture there. So it was definitely an easy choice, and I'm happy I made it.
And so you talked about how you committed early. Now that you're done with the recruiting process, looking back on it, what would you say was the most exciting part about being recruited? And then what would you say is something that you found frustrating about the whole process?
The most exciting part was probably just meeting new people, talking to different coaches. I think that was the coolest part. Or having a big game in front of a lot of coaches, and then meeting new people after that. That was always cool. But I think you just build relationships that you'll probably never forget down the road. During this basketball journey, you'll run into a lot of faces that you met during the process. And then frustrating wise, I'd just say managing it, like forgetting to text somebody or staying on top of your phone. I think that was probably the most frustrating part, just because deep down you don't want to come off as rude, but at the same time, you might be in a math final or something, or studying, so it's really hard to respond.
And so now that you have gone through all of it, what advice would you give to someone who's just now starting to go through the whole recruiting process?
I'd tell them to do their research and take their time. I think that's super important. Make sure like what other people know about those coaches and the experiences that they've had there. I think that's really important before you show too much interest in the school. Just know some background information, and enjoy it. Don't take it for granted. Make sure you're super grateful and respectful.
And so you're the first commit in Stanford's 2021 class, but Stanford's got a pretty solid class coming in for this 2020 year. So have you been in touch with any of those guys, any of the guys committed for the 2020 class, or any of the guys that are currently on the team?
Yeah, so currently on the team, like I know Bryce really well. I know pretty much most of the players like really well. My cousin's actually he's a manager at the school, so he's on staff at on the basketball team. So it's really like family. The 2020 class, I know Zaire really well. We go back to we used to play in 4th grade together. Noah Tate's too, been playing against him for a while. Known him. Big kid Max, we got to know each other recently. So yeah, I'm talking to most of them.
And given how early you committed, were you ever looking into reclassifying, joining that 2020 class?
Yeah, there was a period where my family was in the talks, and we were in talks with the coaches about making a move into 2020. Unfortunately, it was just kind of, it's just kind of weird time for any decision, with everything that was going on in the world. So we decided not to do it. So now I just got an extra year to get better, and hopefully get as ready as possible to help the team win next year.
And so now that you're staying in the 2021 class, you're Stanford's first commit, but are there any guys that you've been recruiting trying to get to join you at Stanford? Any guys that you're talking to?
Yeah. I try to talk to any guys that have questions, any guys that they've offered who they have interest in. Me and Harrison Ingram That's one of my closest friends in the basketball world. So we talk virtually every day. Usually about Stanford, but we usually just talk about random stuff, just like boys. So I talk to him a lot. Hopefully we can become teammates. I think that'd be fun for college basketball. Ryan Mutombo, big kid. I talk to him sometimes, just checking in on him. A couple kids from overseas. So yeah, I'm trying to play my role in as being the first commit.
And so let's talk a little bit about your game. What kind of player are you, and really what kind of player can Stanford fans expect?
I think just someone that makes plays, just a hooper that makes plays. I wouldn't put myself in a position just because I feel like I can do multiple things based on what the coach needs from me. Someone who's going to make stuff happen, and he's going to do it in his own style, with a little flair, but also make the right play no matter what, whether it's me taking the shot or me making the extra pass or the post hit. Like, it's just me having fun with the game I love.
You talk about making the right play. An area of your game that really stands out to me is your court awareness. So where do you think you got your ability to really see the court so well and really make the right play?
I think it's just me, like, loving the details about basketball. Growing up, I actually never used to dribble, never used to facilitate or do anything. I just run corner to corner shooting threes. So I think over time I just kind of got used to it, was forced and just learned how to dribble, and I think I just got to see the floor that way. I know I love watching basketball, so I think when someone makes a pass, I can see, like, was there a better pass available? So that's kind of how I watch basketball, with that mindset. So I think through the love of the game and just being a gym rat, spending a lot of time in the gym, hearing the ball bounce, like all these little details about basketball that others might not see, I try to pick up on.
So you talk about watching the game. Are there any guys in particular that you've studied, that you've tried to emulate in your game?
Nash, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Luka and Trae Young right now are probably the guys I watch a lot of film on. Steph too. Steph was the first person I really started watching since I was young. I don't think people realize how well he can pass the ball, and his court awareness is crazy.
And so off the court, I know that we've talked previously, and you said that you're really into fashion design, finding good deals on vintage clothing and all of that. How did you get into that? Just talk a little bit about how you've gotten involved with that.
I think it's just something that kind of developed over time. I've been able to travel a lot, so being super observant and, like we were saying on the court, like being super aware. Like, I'm usually aware of what's going on around me. So traveling the world, seeing the different styles that people wear, whether it's in basketball or just in street fashion, that's always intrigued me. So hopefully one day, if I get more money, I can, start something up or, start to collect more things. But I think that's kind of how that passion started.
And then I also know that you identify strongly with your Mexican-American heritage. You had the chance to represent Mexico in the Basketball Without Borders camp. So what does being Mexican-American mean to you, and what's it like representing Mexico in events like that?
It means a lot. I'm super proud of that part of me, and it helps drive me because my grandparents, immigrated from Mexico. So that's a big reason why I go so hard. It's awesome to have the backing of another country, and that being my other homeland. So I love being Mexican American. I'm super proud that I have that blood, and I always represent Mexico, and I'll never stop fighting for everybody there.
And now, before I let you go, I just want to give you the opportunity to talk on anything that I may have left out. So really just what do you want the people to know about Isael Silva? What do you want the people to know about you?
I just give advice to any. I can't always respond to every young basketball player that asks me for advice, but if I were to give advice to any up and coming youth that want to be in a position where they get to choose a college or play Division I, Division II, any level of basketball, I just tell them to be super respectful to others and don't forget the details when you're dealing with other people. That stuff matters more than you working hard and only focusing on yourself. Make sure you're super humble and nice to others, and that's the best advice I could give them.
Well, Isael, thank you again for joining me. It was great having you on. You can find Isael on Instagram at air_Isa and on Twitter at isilv3. For ZAGSBLOG.com, I'm Jacob Polacheck, and we'll see you next time.